Rock musicians have been standing out from the crowd for half a century. I am the crowd. Hi, Pyre video blog, back again at last. It's been 10 months since the last blog, so we're going to try and get the next one out a lot sooner. But we say that every time, so at this point, who knows what might happen. The music video we've been talking about for a while. We said we just had the last bit of filming to do, which was going to be at Christmas. We got that all done. I don't remember if it was the one at Christmas that managed it, or if there was a weather problem or something and we had to do it again after that, but it's all done. But as we also said, that was just one scene in the music video, and we didn't even have any ideas for the other bits. I mean, we've had ideas, but there are always stumbling blocks. So until we've got those filmed as well, there doesn't seem a lot of point editing what we've got. We don't know what percentage of the final product is going to make up. So that is currently sitting on a hard drive somewhere. We would like to come up with the other ideas, but at the moment, sort of that's somewhat on the back burner. Yeah, it's something we need to do. What else have we been doing? Our guitarist building his guitar, I think he said progress had kind of stalled there, so we started doing a different one instead. As you do, or more accurately as well. Yeah, he bought some more wood and started building an acoustic guitar, and as far as I'm aware, there hasn't been any progress on that one either. Our drummer, and none of us saw this coming, our drummer did grade 1. Or at least he filmed himself playing it. I don't think he's actually going to submit it to the exam board, because, you know, that would kind of be wasting a professional's time, wouldn't it? Even if you pay them, that's a bit of what we call a dick move. But he can now say he has done grade 1. And that's about all I can think of for sort of what we've been doing. Other than our new focus, which, yeah, we've been working towards. We were making the first album for so long. It was a 10-year production cycle. Once we finished, we said, no way are we doing that again anytime soon. We're taking a lot of time away from recording albums. Well, it's been quite a lot of time actually. That came out September 2018, so it's 4 years ago this month. And maybe it's time to go back into the studio. So, here we are today announcing we are not recording a new album. We're recording 3. And we started several months ago. So what can I tell you about them? Well, first of all, no more CDs. We're not using CDs as the primary release format for an album ever again. Why? Because the nice kind of CDs that you can buy in a shop, they have a pretty big minimum order quantity. And in fact, I've still got boxes and boxes of the album around my house because we haven't played nearly enough shows to sell many copies of them. So yeah, not doing CDs again. Now, when you are tied to CDs, or I suppose any physical release medium, then that does not necessarily limit your options, but firmly push them in a certain direction, just to make financial sense. Every unit has a physical cost, therefore it makes sense to put as many tracks on one CD as you can. Right? Get as many songs out there for as few physical CDs as possible. Hence albums and, yeah, long albums and that sort of thing. It makes far more sense, you know, to have one album every 4 years than a single every year for 4 years. Right. If you don't have a physical distribution, you know, if it's done on YouTube or Spotify or anything else like that, that stops being a limitation. And you can still do albums if you want, but you can now do what you want with it if you would prefer to do something different. We love the album format. We really, really love the album format. But we don't think it's quite appropriate here. Not for these 3 albums. We may well go back to it at some point in the future, but not here. So what are the alternatives? No. Why don't we love it here? Because that's going to give you one album of tracks every 10 years. That means you're going to go see our shows for the first 9 years and it'll be the same songs, and then in year 10 it'll be entirely new songs. Wouldn't it be better if we got new songs from time to time, just going through it gradually? That's sort of why. It's not very 21st century, is it? It doesn't maintain engagement with the fan base, it doesn't keep giving you something new. It's just, here we are dumping them all in such a big quantity that half of them get overlooked, and then there's nothing for a long time. The obvious alternative is putting tracks out one at a time. Whether that means you recorded them all and then release them gradually, or you record them one at a time and release them, mix them separately. And with modern, distribution online services, you can do that. I don't like that approach. I've never tried it personally, but in principle, I think that approach would cause us more harm than good. Because I think when you do it that way, every track needs to stand up on its own as a single. If this is the only song you're getting for however many months or however many years, every part of your fan base needs to like that song. Not just the ones who really like the heavy bits or just like the electronic bits or anything like that. They've all got to like it. And I think that puts unfair pressures on songs, but also I think that really gets in the way of the risks you can take. An album is made up of, ideally, sort of 4 different things. You've got, yes, the strong, catchy singles, but you've also got the ballads that would be way too, I don't know, wimpy to have as the lead single, but really enhance the emotional range of an album. Then you've got album tracks, which, you might say a single carries, but they allow you to do something different, they allow you to experiment, they allow you to push the envelope in a way you can't do with a single, because with an album track you can afford for it to go wrong if that experiment doesn't work. You can't with a single, all your hopes are invested in it. And then, of course, you've got epics, and you don't need me to tell you why epics are wonderful and really important. But we'd like to have all those tracks, and that wouldn't really work releasing it one track at a time. So instead we're going to release the content of the albums in cells of about 3 tracks each time, released I don't know how far apart, but you'll get the first 3 tracks, and then a while later you'll get the next 3, etc. I haven't yet decided how many tracks are going to be recorded and produced and mixed and stuff before they get released. I don't think we'll do, everything and then start releasing cells. In fact, no, we won't. But at the same time, I'm not saying we'll do just the first 3 tracks, get them all finished, publish them, and only then start working on the next 3. It's more like we'll do, I don't know, the first 6 or 9, or varying stages of completion, that sort of thing. So everything we are doing here is firmly focused on, we don't want to be another 10 years producing an album. So there are some differences. And I should say, these 3 albums are going to be very different to the previous one. They're also going to be very different to each other. They are entirely unconnected. There is no story commonality, no themic commonality, no nothing like that. Musically, they're all very different. They're all very different styles of songwriting. They're all very different instrumentations, very different genres, very different sounds. Could even be different producers. So yeah, they're all very independent from each other. They're all very independent from what's come before, and the focus, as I say, is on things that we can get done quickly and cheaply and reliably. So yeah, that's sort of it. We really want to get this out there. We wanted to deliver and sort of to avoid the previous experience, just because it's not sustainable to keep doing things that way every time. So we're releasing 3 albums in cells of 3 tracks at a time. I suspect once they're all done, then we'll do it as a full album, but even then it won't be on a CD, it'll just be, I don't know, dropped onto a playlist or something, I don't know. We have already begun, and we will be releasing the first cell, or cells, very soon. We'd like to this year. That might be a long shot. It's already September, but this year is the goal, or early next year. I don't know when the cells after that will be, but yeah, we want to get this out into the world soon. So on that note, I'll leave you to it. See you next time.